Hey everyone, it is diaperperv. I know I said I'm not gonna film intro, but I am. And we've got Greejay over here, we've got JayBDL over here, and we're gonna try a different type of format right now, which is kind of like we're just gonna have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's it. Like nursery confessionals. We're just gonna sit here and talk about what's on our mind. And today we are going to talk about binging and purging. And it's something that the purging part is something I don't have a lot of experience with, but I did purge last year. No one really knew about it. Like on my social medias, you couldn't tell or anything like that I was purging, but I purged from like January to like late July. And then this year again, I think I purged for like 5 months. And that was difficult because I had to like force myself not to think about it. I don't know. So,
I mean, purging, like, you and I've talked a little bit, like, when you told me you were purging, what I thought you were doing versus what you were actually doing was very different.
mm-hmm.
Because my concept of purging that I've been through as an ABDL is you're fighting feelings of guilt and shame. And
Yes, correct. Yes, yeah.
For me, I
yes.
got rid of everything, threw so much stuff in the garbage. Oh my God. I'm so sad about so many of those things.
Like, how old were you when you
I don't even remember. But it's happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Where you just throw everything away. I've gone so far as like delete any socials that are tied to kink.
Wow.
Going so far as to just like cut off any and all traces to this, period. And trying to quit cold turkey as if I'm never going back, I'm never going to do this again. And so when you told me you were purging, like, I respect that people go through purges, but I thought that meant like you wanted to completely cut off the community, anyone in the community, things like that.
Okay.
Because that would be like an extreme step that I might take if I were purging still.
Right, I see. And I guess it means something different to different people. That's what we learned, right? Like, for me, it meant not seeing my play partners anymore and not engaging in diaper fun with the people that I play with. Which, granted, that wasn't that hard because none of them live here anyways. So it's like, whatever. So I just didn't see them for that period. But I actively, like, did not look at diaper media like I normally do.
But you were still obviously producing, publishing that content?
Yes, but I was using old pictures from, like, years ago.
Okay.
So some people couldn't tell that I was purging, you know what I mean? And I still have my businesses. So, I mean, like, that's still valid. I still run my businesses. but yeah, all like the personal pictures of or just me talking about like playing with diaper boys and stuff, that was just drawing from my past, not present. So like I wouldn't really talk to a lot of diaper boys, like the same diaper boys I would get like my naughty pictures from and stuff. I just kind of ignored everyone. And didn't like initiate any conversation, and I just try not to like think about diapers sexually at all, period. I just like pushed everything out of my mind, and it was tough. I just couldn't go on like social media for a long time. Yeah.
Well, your situation was a little bit different than ours because yours was from
Talk louder.
Sorry, people usually tell me to shut up.
No.
Your place is a little bit different than our place because your place was more emotional because you had something going on.
Yes.
Whereas in our cases, it's like we don't want to continue because we feel like there's something bad about whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So ours is not that any one is different or worse or
Right.
better or less than the other.
Yeah.
It still comes from a point of, for me it was buying or having that feeling that I needed to own everything and I wanted to buy things and toys and diapers and clothes and all this stuff. And then I had this mindset that I was going to use it. I was going to find play partners. I was going to play with it. I was going to use it. I was going to, it was going to be a grand old time. And then guilt and shame set in.
Right.
The idea that I didn't want anybody else to find my stash set in, and all of that stuff ended up in a garbage can, a dumpster at an apartment complex, or a garbage can at a gas station, because I would distribute it all around the city.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Because I mean, face it, let's say you pack up a garbage bag, like a black Glad bag of all of your belonging, all of your kink media stuff, and you're like, I can't just throw that away in the garbage can outside my apartment because somebody might catch on.
Yeah.
So it's like, a little bit went here, or a little bit went there. Oh, I've got like 4 diapers left. Oh, I threw them in the garbage can at the gas station while I'm fueling up my car. That kind of thing.
Right.
So I just kind of distributed it everywhere. And then 2 weeks later, guess what? Holy crap! I want to play again.
Right.
Or man, or I see some content online that somebody's got something really cool that I want to buy, and I want to use that too. So I want that onesie, or I want those, whatever. And then you end up, and maybe it's more than 2 weeks away, 6 months. It could be a year. Then it comes back, and you're like, okay, I have to have that. And then you start binging again, and you buy.
Yeah.
And then your guilt and shame comes back. So I seem to remember we had this conversation on one of the podcasts I did a long time ago.
He's pointing at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finger that way.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about this, about the binge purge cycle, and about how I recommend to somebody that they not throw away all their stuff. That they just put it in a closet, or they put it in a trunk, lock it up, put it in a storage bin, something. Just do not throw it all away, because it becomes part of the binge and purge cycle.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, yours came from a deeper place. It came from a more emotional place. You had something going on in your life that was very important.
But it was also guilt.
Right.
Because yours is guilt and shame.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't have any shame about liking what I like, but I had a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
And that's hard to fight. So that's kind of the same. And I guess, like, instead of binging diapers, I would binge on, like, Diaper Boy.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a place where I'm a little bit better, and I understand that this is my escape and what makes me happy, and I need to feel, like, whole, like, do things that make me happy so I can function in the highest level I can.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I was purging, I felt muted. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I felt like I had to make part of myself, like, die.
Yeah.
Like, dead.
You're cutting off a limb.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm fine without it. But I think
Something's missing.
Yeah, I indulged a little bit last weekend, and I feel like I re-energized. Like, okay, I'm a lot more focused at the things that I need to do to function at the highest level, of what I'm trying to achieve. And even just that little bit, I feel better because I did something for myself. And I didn't cut off anything else in my life. I just felt like this was the only thing that I was guilty about. But everything else is okay.
And the interesting thing about that is that that comes from a place that only you can create. So that comes from your own emotions, your own thoughts, and your own. So not only can you, that came from a place in your heart where you knew that was not, it wasn't right at the time, and maybe it's the wrong thought process or the wrong emotional connection to that to the kink here.
Yeah.
But you've also been able to kind of give yourself a hall pass now and realize that, hey, if it's part of that, it's part of you. It may not be the emotional connection that you have to others or anything like that, but it's just part of you. And I've kind of tried to adopt that myself, understanding that if I can indulge in just a piece of this, I'm not doing something that's detrimental to my real everyday relationships.
Right.
I'm not doing anything that's detrimental to work. I'm not doing anything that's detrimental to my health.
Yeah.
So I allow myself to indulge in however much or however little that I need at the time. And like you said, it's a recharge.
It is.
It helps me get to a better place mentally. Almost feel like fulfilled.
Yeah. Like you feel like a whole self when you get to
Yeah.
have that part of yourself. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because without this, life would probably be a bit different. You know, you'd still be you, but this is just another part of you that you found peace with, hopefully, or you're still searching for that peace. And it wouldn't be the same without it.
Do you ever think about purging like forever?
Yeah, every time you purge, you feel like it's going to be
Yeah.
forever. Like, this is it, I'm doing it, it's done.
Yeah.
I'm too far now. I'm too far invested. I'm too far, and
Yeah.
I don't mean invested with like material items. I mean, I have a closet full of diapers. I have a dresser full of clothes. I mean, I have enough gear to last for a long time. But I need this in my life. This is who I am. This is a piece of me. It's a very large piece of me, and I need that coping mechanism. It's my therapy. It's my release. It's my go-to place when I need a hug. You know, some of us just can't. You know, society doesn't accept us if we're needy in any one way or another. But this is something that I can do to bring myself back to center.
Yep.
This is my zen. So it's like some people might look at it as being something that's right. You know, it's right or it's wrong. I say it's right down the middle. It's and the older that I get, the wiser that I get, the more I realize that I need it, the more I can accept how much I can go out and find and what I can do with play people, like what play partner, if you will, or with a community of people or whatnot. I don't mind who I am, and I can justify that to my loved ones. I can justify that all the way across the board. Communication.
Okay.
There's nothing that I do or participate or do there's nothing that I do in my kink lifestyle that my significant other doesn't know about.
Right.
And if she were to at one point say, I'm uncomfortable with that, I don't like that, I would stop it. I have that ability.
Yeah.
And I have that much self restraint that I could stop that.
Okay.
Sometimes it would be difficult, I guarantee it, but I would stop it immediately. And simply going out of town to meet with you folks, to be here, she knows what's going on. She knows everything, and I wouldn't.
She's gonna see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't live my life any other way.
Do you think that as you learn to let go of the fear of what others are going to judge you as, that starts to reduce the feelings of purge or binge and purge, that you start to level out?
Yeah, because now it becomes now that it's becoming part of my lifestyle. And I don't want to say 24/7 or anything like that. There's no time period or time frame on it. But as it becomes part of me and it becomes part of my identity, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's like if somebody would have called me out for being a grumpy person. It's like, okay, yeah, there's evidence of that. Well, I like to live a lifestyle of kink, and I like to live a lifestyle that's a little bit more. It's a little different compared to what other people might be into. That's fine with me.
So you're not embarrassed,
No.
like you don't have shame.
No, I'm not. I don't. And the more that I want to push the boundaries of what that kink looks like or what that lifestyle is, the more I realize that it just intensifies the feeling. So.
Yeah.
So no, shame's not necessarily there. I think the only reason that I would binge or purge at this point, or purge at this point, would be if I just strictly didn't have the room for whatever I had purchased.
Well, that's different. That's just spring cleaning.
Yeah.
I'm doing that at the Munch tomorrow, so
Right.
not a problem. I think it's just like, the wholesale, just getting rid of everything. Once you're at the point where, someone finds out, whatever.
Yep.
Are you at that point?
Yeah, I think so. I think if it were to happen, depending on the consequences, obviously it would make life more challenging. But at the same time, it'd be like, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who's going to try and use that against me better know that whoever they're trying to use it with knows me as a whole person.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to judge me based off of one thing.
Right.
So that's how I face it now is, yeah, if this were to happen, if someone were to see this and have that question, and why would you do this? And it's like, well, you know who I am. This has always been a part of me. It's not like this just came out of nowhere. So if I'm the same person I was before you knew this, you just know a little more about me now.
And I feel like that's a really good way to educate someone as well, because I've told everyone in my life, and then I give them a really big space to ask questions. Like, ask me anything. I want to answer it. And usually they have a lot of questions. And I like that because I'm helping educate people on something new.
Yeah.
And I don't see it any different as any other interest, like rock climbing or other things that people do that are not as mainstream.
Well, think of it this way too. I mean, anything that I do with a mental health professional, if I go to a counselor and I talk to a counselor about anything that's going on in my life, had a bad day at work or whatever, that's none of anybody's business either.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a confidentiality agreement there as well.
Right.
So if my therapy is some kind of humiliation or some kind of something that's an adrenaline rush based off of a kink, then that's my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking a narcotic, I'm not taking a drug, I'm not taking, I mean.
Not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
That's
not
a good
hurting
way.
yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it, as a form of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if someone, letting go of that fear is saying, this is who I am, this is why I do it. It doesn't hurt anyone. It makes me whole. It makes me happy. So who are you, other folks, to judge me for that necessarily?
If at the end of the day somebody were to ask me what I thought of my boss, right? And I said, well, my boss is a great person at work. He cares about the company. He cares about everybody that works here. But at the end of the day, he goes to the bar and he drinks a handle of liquor every night. And then he gets belligerent, he gets angry, and he goes home and he breaks stuff. And then he wakes up in the morning and he goes back to work and he treats everybody like they're perfect. What makes that any different than, hey, at the end of the day, I go home and I live a kink lifestyle?
I mean, if
I'm
anything,
not hurting anybody.
Your example's better. You're not getting drunk and possibly causing irreparable harm.
But right now, society would say that the other guy is not participating in anything that's alternative, and therefore it's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't understand like why people think this kink and lifestyle is so weird. But that's a whole other fucking topic.
Well, it's exposure. Like, we all know somebody who's probably been an alcoholic, or we've seen the representations in media.
Yeah.
And whether people know it or not, not everyone knows an ABDL. They probably do. They just don't know that they're an ABDL.
Right.
I have to believe that people probably have, one of the reasons that people probably find this to be so alternative or edgy or whatnot or inappropriate is the trying to link it to children.
Yeah.
When they don't realize that it has nothing to do with children. And then it's also it's a rush for a lot of us because of it's a rush. That's what it is. It's an adrenaline rush. The fear of being caught, or the fear of I don't know. I guess being caught, but also the rush of being submissive to somebody or being submissive to, say, the diapers or something else that's physical. It's a rush. It's a humiliation thing. It's an energy release, and
Ooh, an energy release.
yeah, and a lot of the people that would be questioning or casting a shadow on us are people that don't have that kind of release. They're probably people that are unhappy in their own lives, and when no matter what they tried to solve, they'd still be unhappy. And so sometimes they're just unhappy because we're happy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, so when was the last time you purged?
Me?
Yes.
Probably more than 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely at some point while I had already started dipping my toe into community. I know there was a period that I went through that I was very worried and ashamed about finding a partner, and doing vanilla dating was, not fruitful. And every time I got close to somebody or felt like there was progress to be made, that would always be nagging at the back of my mind. I have to tell this person at some point. And I think at one point I just went ahead and purged everything with the idea that if I do find somebody, I will just leave this out and I'll deal with it.
Wow.
Ultimately coming to the realization it doesn't work that way. If you are going to commit to somebody, then you are doing yourself and them a disservice to hold back something that's that important to you. Because you're not living your genuine lifestyle, and you're not going to find somebody who appreciates the whole genuine you by presenting this, what do you consider, idealized version. They need to see you.
I like that. I like the genuine you. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and that's where I was at, and I was like, they'll never accept me for this. I've got to get rid of it, so that if I bring someone home, then they see this or whatever. And clearly that wasn't working, and I thought about it, and I realized that, I did connect and click with somebody, but I left this part out.
Right.
Or if that was the only roadblock to us having a successful partnership.
A lot of people do that. I know a lot of people who do that. I know a lot of people whose wives don't even know.
Yeah. and not saying hey, live your life. If you have a wonderful partner and you've never told them and you don't ever want them to know and you're able to manage your life, more power to you. But to me, I've got to be me. I've got to be genuine. I can't hold back, because otherwise I'm not going to be happy. And then the person I'm with is not going to be happy either.
Do you think, if that scenario happened, you found a vanilla partner, you never told them, you purged, forever, do you think that would change who you are and how you treat them?
Yeah.
Okay.
There would definitely be some element, no matter how much you try and resist it, of resentment. I can't go do this thing that I'm so strongly driven towards because of my partner. And, maybe you look at that and rather than resentment, you just feel a renewed sense of commitment to that person, but you're always going to feel that pull. That pull doesn't stop. It's always there. And it can lead, you can fight it, and trust me, many people do for many years, but it can also lead you to a place where maybe you commit an act of infidelity. You go and you go to a facilitator because you need that release without telling your partner. And even though nothing sexual happens, you're still going to another person and having this intimate relationship. And you're keeping secrets and you're hiding things, and it becomes too much and it just spirals out of control. And now you're ending up hurting each other because you couldn't communicate. You couldn't be honest. You couldn't face that fear. Not saying it can't be done. Plenty of people do it. But for me, I knew that would be the inevitable result.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've seen tons of people do it, and a lot of my play partners are in that situation, and they seem to lead their lives, their vanilla lives, fine, because they can compartmentalize. Yeah. Okay, here's this time, and then here's my time with someone else.
Yeah. I gotta wonder though, how do they let go of that fear of somebody or somehow that this is being found out, or do they always carry that with them? Because that's how I found acceptance with myself, is I had to let go of that fear.
Oh, okay.
And if you can't let go of that fear, how can you be happy and not go through binge and purge cycles?
Earlier you asked me, have I binged? Right? I'm like, yeah, that was all of 2018 and 2019, completely. Early 2020 before COVID hit.
Yep.
Yes. So I did binge.
And your binge was a bit different. You went and found all the diaper boys.
I played with a lot of diaper boys. I snoofed a lot of diapers. It was very fun. Messy diaper sex. I mean, that still happens, just less frequently.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's into it. But that was also a different time in my life when I felt like I could have that. And I was freer and had less responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think
And I didn't feel guilty then.
I was going to turn back to Jay real quick. How do you think you would handle your current relationship if you had never told your partner?
I don't know that I could be in that relationship. Sort of straight up. I mean, within the last 2 years, I've gone through two periods where we thought our relationship was going to be over. And so it's a lot of communication, it's a lot of honesty. For me, it was straight up. That's why I like your statement, the genuine self, your genuine self, because I was finally able to have the confidence and the ability to stand up and say, this is who I am. I regardless, this is who I am. This is what I need. And if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And so far so good. We've been able to keep moving forward on that. And like I said, there's not that much participation, but at the same time, there's the ability that she's given me permission.
Yes.
So it's like, okay,
Versus if you had to never even ask that permission, but hide and go behind her back.
The guilt would have killed me.
Yeah.
And I would have had to have ended it.
Yeah.
Because not that it's easy to find partners in this community, and not that it's easy to find romantic partners. Period. In this community, it's still it takes that off the table when you're committed to your partner, regardless. And so, thankfully, that hasn't been a thing. But I would not be able to go behind somebody's back, at least to the level that I want to take this with the community. It would be wrong. And not only would it be wrong, but that everybody would see that, because I'm a person who wears my heart on my sleeve, so everybody would know that there's some nefarious activities going on here. I wouldn't be able to be my true, genuine self.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to that. I like that statement.
And then for you, if you could never reveal this part of yourself to your partner, how would that change you in this relationship? Like, could you even manage that? Could you even be with the person then if you couldn't tell them, hey, this is who I am?
Yeah. Yes.
You could be with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could give it up.
No, I could be with someone.
And just like not tell them and do your thing.
Yeah, I would just do it behind their back.
Okay. Which again, that's a.
This is very
people do it.
honest. Yeah. Yeah, this is very honest.
Would you worry or be nervous or be concerned at all that somehow it would get out or your partner would find out? And if that were to happen, what do you think would happen?
Okay. I mean, I guess I've never been in this situation, but I guess I would just have that worry. Yeah, but I would just kind of compartmentalize and push it aside and do my best at hiding things better and be very, very careful.
Okay. So I feel like a lot of the need to binge is to separate ourselves from that, like I said before, that fear of being found out. And or in your case, yours was from guilt. The guilt, that you are doing these things that you enjoyed while other things were happening that were causing a lot of distress. And why do you feel guilty? Because you're doing something fun and other things are not fun.
Yeah.
And so it's
it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. But we communicated about it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, this whole fucking purge I'm going through is completely self-inflicted.
Yes.
Like, they didn't tell me to purge. No one told me to purge. Quite the opposite. I know it's 100% me. Thinking that I should put myself in exile.
So self-imposed exile.
Yeah.
And what do you want to get from that purge?
What do I want to get from it? Like suffering.
Like you feel because of all the things that are happening that you
Yeah.
should be hurting too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I could feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No? And then you confront that and you do the thing, and it's self-harm. It's a form of self-harm.
It is a form of self-harm.
Yeah.
But it's from a deeper place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm crying.
That's why we call it the nursery confession.
Didn't expect it to get this deep, but no,
Oh
this
no,
is
I
good.
was trying not to cry like from the get-go. This is really hard. But I want to be really honest, you know?
And I think it's just important, like, because again, binging comes from a lot of different places, and I'm just trying to understand yours, and I think it's really valuable that others can see that if their binge is also coming from that same place,
Right.
that others experience those same feelings.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Do you think when you guys were purging, you were ever like trying to punish yourself?
Absolutely.
So it is the same.
Well,
I
there.
mean,
Well,
it's-
yours came from the heart. Yours came from the heart, and because I know why you did yours. Yours came from the heart, so it's not from the same place. Yours came from the heart because you knew that your significant other was in pain, and therefore you didn't want to go to a place of happiness while your significant other was in a place of pain.
yeah.
That's a place that's coming straight from the heart. That means you have a heart, you have a soul. You're not just being greedy and selfish. You gave up a piece of yourself for your significant other. There's no shame in that. My binge and purge, and this is just speaking for me,
Right.
was a matter of giving up myself, being selfish, being that I don't want somebody to find this out about me, so I'm going to throw it away, and I'm hoping that it doesn't come back,
Right.
but it always came back.
Yeah.
For you were giving up something out of love, from the heart.
It still came back though.
Of
Like,
course it did.
So hard.
Of course it did, but it gave you a time to reflect on what was important in your life,
Right.
and you were able to stop doing something that you didn't feel was right at the moment.
I don't know what else forms of self-care there is for me. Like, I do everything else normal in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the dance stuff and everything else is still normal. But now I'm thinking of, well, if I have this, then I need to find a different way to self-punish myself. Which isn't healthy. I know that.
Yeah.
I know.
So go
I
for a
know.
run.
Ew, I hate that is real punishment. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
I fucking hate running. Like, I'd rather do anything but run.
So at least you'd be doing something detrimental, but good for you.
I'd rather stab myself in the eyes and have to run or do cardio.
I don't think you should have to. I don't think that self-care should have to have an ebb and a flow. I don't think it should have to yin and a yang. I think self-care is just self-care, and some people run and jump and climb mountains and do all that kind of extreme stuff as self-care. So
Yeah.
no, I don't think that you have to have a reason for or a justification for what self-care is, as long as it meets your checks and balances, and you know, I don't think that it's necessary to have to harm yourself or prevent yourself from doing something unless it really is detrimental to you. Then of course stop it. But you know. I don't think we have to harm ourselves to feel better.
Oh, I have a question. When you guys purged, did you think about something else instead? in your mind? Like instead of diapers, did it switch to something else? Because it did for me. Last year when I purged, all I thought about was pegging.
Mm.
That's it. It just naturally gravitated towards that. And I would be like obsessed over thinking about it and looking for that type of content, which really there is not good content for that. Just saying. But without diapers, I like purge the diapers so hard.
It's hard because, like, for me, I think my obsession in the past is different than what my obsession is now.
Okay.
My obsession in the past was the diapers. It was the sexual aspect of the diapers.
Mhm.
It was just the fact that it was, the look, the feel. It wasn't necessarily anything else. Man, I love the diaper butt. It didn't matter if it was a male or female. It was a diaper butt. It was a diaper butt. But when I gave that up, for me, it was the wearing of the diaper that was the obsession, and it was the feeling of that guilt and shame was the obsession, because what I fell back to, and the content that I would look at if I wasn't looking at diaper porn was BDSM, and it was a place of S&M, punishment, stuff like that, restraints, punishment. So it wasn't like I stopped one thing to go be an altar boy. One thing led to another thing, and it was the same thing, but only without the diapers. So it was still feeding a physical obsession or a physical need.
Yeah. Okay.
So for me, it was completely different. Now, if you were to take it away, you'd be taking away a part of my, I don't want to say my spirit, but pretty damn close. Because it's the mindset now is changed. It's probably 75% sexual, 25% like lifestyle. So there's been a shift.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, if a purge for me would be taking away a part of myself. It'd be like cutting off a finger or something.
Yeah.
And also for you, you're very active in the community. You go to a lot of
Right.
events. You have a lot of friends that you consider family that you really care about too. And if you purge, then that would mean
It very well could mean that I would give up them as well, and I'm just not able to do that.
Yeah. I can. Yeah.
Because I'd like to think that ABDL is something that brought us together.
Right.
But it's there are some people out there that I really do care about that I would that regardless of the kink or not, I would still want to know how they're doing and want to be there for them in their life.
Mm-hmm. What about you, JayBDL? Did you think of something else when you purged?
I think, at least in terms of the last one, I tried to turn my focus towards more like fitness. Again, finding that vanilla partner, that side of my life, and just try to ignore the kink side as much as possible. So just try and focus on the things that I thought would make me a more well-rounded person, while completely ignoring my own needs.
Wait, when you were like really into fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And working out a ton and all that, were you on a purge then?
At points, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, not for the whole duration of that, no.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all. But I know when that did happen, that was one of the things I made sure to do, because that was my sort of coping mechanism at the time, is anytime I felt guilt or I felt anxiety or anything like that, my answer was always go work out.
Oh.
And
Okay.
that just became my replacement drug for everything.
Oh.
And my replacement form of self-care.
Oh.
The funny part in that was that the exercise and all of that stuff was to help embolden me in the kink. I lost a lot of weight last year, and I put on a lot of muscle. I did a lot of working out, and it was so that I would look better in a diaper. Number one, and number two, so that I could get the self-confidence up in myself so that if I did have a play partner and I was going to be in a dominant role, I knew that I was at least taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And I felt like if I could take care of myself, I could take care of others.
Yeah.
So it's funny how we both associated exercise and fitness into our kinks and our role play, but in a different manner.
Yeah. And then I'm hearing it as if I take care of myself, I can take care of others better. And I think that is my reality. That this is part of taking care of myself, is indulging in diapers and diaper fun in order to be at my highest level.
Yeah, for me, it's not even like the working out. Obviously, for me, has changed. It's not what it used to be, and it's not a substitute. It's not a coping mechanism for my anxiety anymore. And yeah, now it's just like, it's just for fun. I want to go do stuff. That's it.
Okay. So in order to successfully possibly purge, I should find something else to get obsessed over.
It helps. It helps.
If I choose to do that again.
I
I know that's not the best answer.
Well, here, I'll help. I'll get this one here. Is it maybe binging and purging is not the answer? It's everything in moderation. Because if you have to justify it in one way or the other, at least if you justified it in a way that was positive, you wouldn't necessarily jump head first into it and just go gusto on it. You would kind of wade into the water, if you were, and you would have like, say, mile markers of acceptance. And you could at that point, you could justify to yourself, to your partner, to whoever you have to justify whatever to, that you've done the internal checks and balances. You've done the system check, and you're running at a healthy, steady rate.
Yeah.
A lot of us, I can say this because it definitely was me, is that when I binged, it was at an unhealthy rate. I binged with money I didn't have, on credit cards that I shouldn't have been spending money on. And I would buy the stuff that wasn't necessary for my means. I was living beyond my means to buy kink-related items so that I would have this toy bag, if you will, of items that someday maybe somebody would play with me with. And so I didn't have those internal checks and balances.
Yeah. I also think for binging, at least, we already touched on this a little earlier. Not binging, but purging. Don't purge, just pause.
Right.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find a trunk, find a closet, find something that you can lock away and come back to later, because we all have experienced it.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe just say I'm on a break right now.
And that goes back into being everything in moderation. When you think about why do our brains create this feeling that we need to do this thing? It's probably our brain saying, hey, you've been doing a lot of this lately, you need a break. You need to be a little more moderated in this.
Yep.
And so it's just a good reminder that the feelings we get are sort of a response to stimulus, and sometimes that response is, hey, slow down.
Okay. Have you guys binged lately, or could think that you have been on a binge?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd say within the last 3 weeks.
I just restocked, but I don't call it a binge. It's just normal maintenance operations at this point.
Yeah, my restocking was probably good for probably a year.
Oh, geez.
I think in the last couple of weeks, I probably bought about 30 bags.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, okay, that's a
crazy.
lot of bags, but
Yeah.
they were all different, right?
Of course.
Okay.
And I could sit here on recording and say that it was because of tariffs, but really it was because I wanted certain things.
Okay, so what are your favorite diapers right now?
Oh man, I just bought the Tiny Tails.
Yeah.
I've always wanted those.
Yeah.
So I just got those. The Triagons. Absolutely love the Triagons. Cloth backs, quiet, hold a ton. You're good to go there. But then I still like the traditionals, like the ABU peekaboos. Right now, anything from LF, is it
Little for big?
Little for Big,
Little
yeah. Shoot, I'm going through like the whole catalog here.
Right. So everything.
Yeah. Well, no, I really like the prints, and I really like the it's almost for me the ones with the prints with the littlest, like giving yourself like the littlest appearance have been the ones that I like the most. The ones with the wetness indicators, things that make the wetness disappear.
The ones that say oopsie,
exactly.
little baby, like all the embarrassing things. Yeah.
Potty pants, or is it potty pants?
There's so many
something
new
like
ones.
that. Those are great too. But yeah, no. So I mean, for me it was a matter of I had some income, if you will, that was disposable, quite literally. And
you could say you're just pissing it away.
Yeah. And it was just time to restock, and I just went a little. I restocked enough for a while.
Yes.
And I've been asked by my significant other to go ahead and refrain from purchasing for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you probably have everything you want right now.
Everything that I need for right now. Yeah.
What about you? You seem like someone who just does things in moderation.
Yeah, it's been a while since I impulse purchased.
Yeah.
And binged. Probably, I'd say 2020 actually, COVID. During the pandemic when I had too much free time. That's probably the last time I significantly binged and bought a lot of things that I didn't need, but really, really wanted. So that was the last time I had a solid binge.
Okay.
Since then, it's been a lot more moderation, like little treats, like certain things. Absolutely, you have to budget for and think about. And do I really want this? Am I going to really use it? And there's some purchases I made that I look back on and I'm like, no, I really didn't need that after all. But not like excessive, not like hundreds upon hundreds of dollars worth of things.
Not like this guy.
But it's like, oh, hey, it's right down there at the foot of the bed right now. The set of restraints. I thought I would really like that and keep it and use it.
Right.
Honestly, I'm like, no.
These are so beautiful.
They are, and I'm not using them. I don't see myself using them in the near future, and I'm going to try and find a new home for them.
Okay.
But those were maybe $100 that I could have saved, and honestly, like, yeah, I'm good.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think the last time I binged was 2019 when I went a little nuts, and then after that, it's been a lot more chill. I've been a lot more picky about my play partners, and I'm just happy with like the few I have.
Yeah. Quality over quantity.
Yes, quality over quantity. I want to, just have good, lasting people in my life instead of just random boys leaking on my face. I just feel like I just need to, like a good weekend at Diaper Active or something. Sometimes.
Just get it out of your system.
Maybe. I don't know.
That would be the binge.
Yes.
That would be.
And then the
binge.
purge would be going back to normal life.
Have you guys ever had like goals for ABDL?
Like I'd say the biggest one for me was to have a partner that would participate in it.
Yeah.
And I can say I've checked that one off the list. Beyond that, I mean, just the ultimate goal of, finding a long-term partner who's at least okay with it. They don't have to participate, just be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any goals, Greejay?
I think my goals are R-rated and probably not fit for YouTube.
Oh.
Well, those goals, yes. Yeah, we'll put that up on the...
That's a whole other...
That's a whole another podcast.
Yeah. I think I've done mine before on a YouTube video.
Well, because I mean, you say like, what's your goal, and we've been talking about, what binging and purging and what it means to us and all that stuff. We've talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And really, with the acceptance and the acceptance that you give yourself and you have from your partner, and the confidence that you'll end up having once you have that acceptance, and then your curiosity, your all of that stuff kind of starts coming together, and you start realizing that there's certain things that you want to try or do, or roles you want to play, things like that, and then that's where the goals would come in. It's like, okay, well, now that I've accepted this and I've accepted the fact that this is who I am, now my goal is to, maybe I want to try this one day, or I want to try that one day.
Yeah.
And find a partner that'll be involved in this. And so like I say, they're probably a bit more risque than this conversation.
Yeah.
But it comes from a good place. It comes from a place of acceptance and confidence and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think I have any goals. I've done a lot personally and I guess for the community.
Yeah.
And I've never had goals. It just kind of wandered across my path. That's how I feel like I live life.
It's not like we still have a guidance counselor we got to meet with every semester and tell them what our future plans are. You can be like, I got nothing, man. I'll see what comes up in 6 months.
But I do this for other people. I like ABDL coach other people so much, but I have no goals.
People not listening to podcasts like this without having any goals or desires or dreams or directions, then that leaves you a place to coach.
Yes.
Exactly.
So if you're watching this video, don't.
Don't.
Don't purge.
Don't watch this video so that
Don't watch
so
this
that
video.
she has somebody to coach.
Yeah.
Because we're coaching right now.
We are.
It's like life coaching.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But if you want more specific ABDL coaching and goal setting for yourself, then I still am a good person to go to for helping you navigate the community. Because I kind of understand that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
And
I don't know anything.
there's a video or two on YouTube. You've got videos about everything that we just talked about today.
That is true. Everything.
I've watched them all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm a connoisseur.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I hope you watch them too.
Yeah, and as they say on all YouTube videos, click the subscribe and like.
Yeah, hit like, subscribe, click the little bell icon to be notified anytime a new video drops. And we'd like to thank today's sponsor. No, we ain't doing that.
No.
Although if somebody does want to hook us up with like some, free diapers for life,
For life. Yes, please.
Oh, I'll just take a bag.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that's it. We're pretty cheap in terms of bribery.
All right.
I'm sorry, sponsorships. They don't like it when you call it bribes.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Go close it out.